Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on Monday, April 21, 2025. I'd ask that you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Cahill.
Here.
Pluto.
Here.
Park.
Here.
Udera.
Here.
Bastido.
Here.
Nardini.
Here.
Brennan.
Here.
Irby.
Here.
Bellinger.
Here.
Marimus absent. Hill.
Here.
Schenko.
Here.
Jensen.
Here.
Graham.
Here.
13 present, 1 absent.
13 present, 1 absent. We have a quorum. Item 3 is a special recognition, and I'll ask the director and Ms. Cox to join me over at the side there. Does it say anything about it from here? Pardon? Does the plaque, it's from the organization. Well, on Thursday, April 3rd, the Illinois Association of Museums recognized the Elmhurst History Museum's recent exhibition, Lost Chicagoland Department Stores, with an award of superior achievement. This is the Illinois Association of Museums' highest award. Out of Illinois' more than 1,000 museums, IAM only presents one award of superior achievement in any category each year. Lost Chicagoland Department Stores broke all previous attendance records for the Elmhurst History Museum during the show's run and drew patrons from Chicago, the western suburbs, and even other states. Visitor surveys indicated that most attendees dined or shopped in Elmhurst as part of their visit, so the exhibit had a positive community impact as well as that went well beyond the museum's walls. This marks the 3rd award of superior achievement the museum has received in the past 5 years. The previous awards were for the museum's 10th anniversary documentary about the Churchville one-room schoolhouse and the recent conservation and restoration of a priceless painting of early Elmhurst resident Jane Bryan Bird, or is Jane Bird Bryan? Jane Bryan, all right, by internationally acclaimed 19th century artist G.P. Healy. Receipt of this award is a significant achievement for our team and places the Elmhurst History Museum in elite company. Please congratulate the curator of exhibits, Sarah Cox, and the staff and volunteers who contributed to the success of the exhibition. But, Director Oberg, would you like to say something first?
Oh, if you would.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity. I just want to congratulate Sarah. I want to congratulate our consulting curator, Leslie Goddard. I want to congratulate our entire team who really worked and went above and beyond. I want to congratulate Jess Wandersee, who created every program she created in support of the exhibition, sold out. Never seen anything like this. This was lightning in a bottle. We never had a slow day. We used to say January was the slow time of year. It's the busiest month of the entire year for us. It was the last month of the run of that particular exhibit. It's a real testament to the hard work of this team and our volunteers. And a big shout out to our friends with the Elmhurst Heritage Foundation. We've got representation there. In the audience, if you stand and be recognized, the Elmhurst Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit fundraising organization that helps us really punch well above our weight. Having the city as the resource behind us and having the resources of the foundation lets us do great things. We're deeply grateful for your support. We got Mike LaCicero here, Jake Medding, Gene Baker, and former board member Mike Baker here as well. Thanks for being here. And thanks to all of you for the recognition, and congrats again, Sarah.
This is from the museum's Illinois Association of Museums Award of Superior Achievement presented to the Elmhurst History Museum for Lost Chicagoland Department Stores on April 3rd, 2025. Who's got the camera? Oh, there he is. All right.
Sure. Thank you very much.
All right. We're going to, next on the agenda, item 4 is a public hearing. It's a public hearing for the annexation agreement proposed by and between Elmhurst, Edward Elmhurst Healthcare and the City of Elmhurst for the property commonly known as 0S551 Kendall Avenue, 0S561 Kendall Avenue, and 0S571 Kendall Avenue. This is the public hearing concerns those properties. I'm now going to open the public hearing regarding an annexation agreement by and between Elmhurst Edward Healthcare and the City of Chicago for the property I just described.
I'm sorry, you said the City of Chicago.
Did I say City of Chicago?
It's the City of Elmhurst.
I'm in the wrong. I don't know. Who wrote this script? City Mayor. All right. Elmhurst. I don't know where I got that from. The purpose of the hearing is to take public comment concerning the annexation agreement by and between Edward Elmhurst Healthcare and the city. And I'd like to ask City Manager to describe the project within the City of Elmhurst.
Thank you, Mayor. The properties subject to the annexation agreement were recently acquired by Edward Elmhurst Health and are going to be incorporated into the City of Elmhurst. In 2023, a PUD was approved for the construction of a 3-story medical office building and parking lot on the property immediately adjacent to the unincorporated parcels that are subject to the annexation. Preliminary PUD approval was granted for the building and final PUD approval for the parking lot. The parking lot was constructed in 2024. 2 extensions were granted to the applicant for filing the final PUD approval of the medical office building due to a space needs study being conducted by the entire Endeavor Health System, as well as the acquisition of the properties which the mayor described. Following their assessment, the plan was revised, and the applicant is proposing to construct a 2-story building at the southeast corner of the property. The addition of the 3 adjacent properties will allow them to add additional parking and relocate the existing detention underground. The public hearing is required for the annexation agreement. As part of the annexation agreement, the applicant has agreed to contribute an amount not to exceed $89,000 towards the city's cost of resurfacing Kendall Avenue from Lexington to Harvard Street. Design of new sidewalk along Kendall Avenue shall be completed prior to the proposed medical office building permit issuance by the city, and the owner shall have 5 years to begin construction of the sidewalk, and the owner agrees to install a sidewalk along Harvard Street. Approval of the rezoning or map amendment, final plat of subdivision, and granting an amended conditional use permit for the planned unit development with site development allowances are on tonight's City Council agenda.
All right, I'd ask Clerk Tamer to read any written comments into the record.
There are none.
There are none. Would any members of the public like to make comments for the record on this issue? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn? Alderman Brennan, second Alderman Nardini.
No, sorry.
I'm sorry. Is it on on this topic or just general public? Yeah, this is just, I'm sorry, I should explain, this is a public hearing within our city council meeting, so we're not adjourning the city council meeting, this is a motion to adjourn the public hearing on this annexation agreement. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The hearing, not the meeting, is adjourned. All right, thank you. We're back on the city council agenda. Next is receipt of written communications. Are there any written communications?
No, not yet.
Are you going to be making public comment where you'd like to address orally, or do you want to deliver a written communication? All right, then if you'll come up and present it to Clerk Tamer, please. Thank you.
Right here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, anyone else have a written communication they would like to deliver? We'll move on to item 6, public forum. Clerk Tamer, is anyone signed in for a public forum this evening?
There's no one that's signed.
All right, is there anyone in the audience that would like to make public comment to address the city council that did not have an opportunity to sign in before the meeting started? If so, please raise your hand. Well, seeing none, we'll close public forum. Item 7 is announcements. Are there any announcements from the dais tonight? Alderman Bastido.
Yes, so the Public Works Committee for next week is going to be canceled because we are losing our vice chair, Alderman Cahill, and we cannot go on without him.
Okay. All right, so Public Works will not be meeting.
Correct.
All right, very good. Anyone else? All right, that's the end of announcements. We'll move on to item 8, the consent agenda. Clerk Tamer, please read the consent agenda.
Item 8.1, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on April 7th, 2025. 8.2, executive session minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on March 17th, 2025. 8.3, executive session minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on April 7th, 2025. 8.4, accounts payable, April 21st, 2025, $3,627,835.32. 8.5, reappointment to the Elmhurst Senior Citizen Commission, Sorrell, Wood, Maple, Reitnauer, and you. 8.6, reappointment to the City of Elmhurst and Elmhurst University Commission, Marcucci, Robertson, Riekert, Gaberer, and Leone. Sorry if I've matched these up here. 8.7, reappointment to the Economic Development Commission, Zaziski, G, Medding, and Shanklin. 8.8, reappointment to the Public Arts Commission, Polumsky, Nestor, Dollinger, and Lee. And 8.9, reappointment to the Architectural and Building Commission, Bibe, Budgel, McKenna, and Barnes. 8.10, reappointment to the Commission on Youth, Ann Zimmer. 8.11, report, Elmhurst City Center Rock the Block Party. 8.12, report, Cayuga Avenue Reconstruction, Design Engineering. 8.13, report, Elma Avenue Reconstruction, Construction Engineering. 8.14, 2025, Water Main Improvement Project 25-01, Construction Phase Services. 8.15, report, Professional Engineering Services for 2025, Wastewater Flow Monitoring. 8.16, report, 2025, Agreement for Biosolids, Loading, Hauling, and Spreading Services. 8.17, report, Arcade Building Roof Replacement. See item 10.1. 8.18, an ordinance granting a variation from the side yard setback requirement to the property commonly known as 256 East Adelia Street, Elmhurst, Illinois. 8.19, an ordinance approving a final plan unit development with site development allowance for the construction of additions and facade renovations to the building located on the property commonly known as 300 West Grand Avenue, Elmhurst, Illinois. 8.20, an ordinance authorizing the execution of annexation agreement by and between Edward Elmhurst Healthcare and the City of Elmhurst for the property commonly known as 0S551 Kendall Avenue and 0S561 Kendall Avenue, 0S571 Kendall Avenue. 8.21, an ordinance annexing the property commonly known as 0S551 Kendall Avenue, 0S561 Kendall Avenue, and 0S571 Kendall Avenue to the City of Elmhurst, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois. 8.22, an ordinance rezoning, map amendment, approving a final plat of subdivision, and granting an amended conditional use permit for a planned unit development with site development allowances for the construction of a medical office building and in addition to the parking lot at the property commonly known as 1100 South York Street, Elmhurst, Illinois. 8.23, an ordinance authorizing an expenditure of additional funds for the Ride DuPage program. 8.24, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the 2025 Water Main Improvements Project, project number 25-01. 8.25, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of contract for custodial services at various municipal buildings. 8.26, resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a final balancing change order for the Fuel Island Underground Storage Tank Replacement Project, project 24-22. And 8.27, a resolution to support and approve the advancement of the police station construction project.
Thank you, Clerk Tamer. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any alderman would like to remove for either to vote against or for further discussion? All right, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Alderman Toludo with a motion, Alderman Cahill with a second. Clerk Tamer.
Cahill.
Aye.
Toludo.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Bastido?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Irby?
Aye.
Bellinger?
Aye.
Remus absent. Hill?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. The consent agenda is adopted. Reports and recommendations of appointed elected officials, Mayor Levin. I do want to call to your attention that there will be a Senior Services Symposium on Friday, May 2nd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Mary Keese Recreation Center on Arlington and St. Charles. It will be a presentation by our commission for senior residents to learn about the services specific to their needs. Have Metropolitan Family Services, the Park District, DuPage Senior Citizens Council, the Public Library, DuPage Senior Services, and more. Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works, Transportation. So please stop by. Again, May 2nd, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That is all I have. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. One final reminder that the final 2 spring cleanup dates are coming the next 2 Saturdays. It'll be Saturday, April 26th for residents who have Thursday collection dates, and Saturday, May 3rd for residents who have Friday collection dates. A list of acceptable items is on the city website. In addition to that, on April 26th, we will have our quarterly electronic and textile recycling event, and that's at the Public Works Facility, which is 985 South Riverside Drive, from 8 a.m. until noon. That's in cooperation with DuPage County. And also on Saturday, April 26th, from 10 o'clock in the morning until 2 p.m., the Police Department will host a prescription drug take-back event. So if you have any that are either you don't use or they're expired, please drop them off. We have drive-through service in the west parking lot of the police station. This is serious health concern. It keeps it out of the hands of people who shouldn't have it, and it also keeps it out of our water supply. So very important. So please spread that to your neighbors if you can. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager. Are there any other reports? All right. Other business, ordinances. 10.1, Clerk Tamer, would you read the ordinance?
An ordinance waiving bid and authorizing the execution of a contract for the arcade building roof replacement. See item 8.17.
All right. Can I have a motion to put 10.1, to approve 10.1? Alderman Bastido with the motion, Alderman Cahill with the second. Alderman Bastido.
Thank you, Mayor. So the city owns a building at 113 to 121 North Addison known as the Arcade Building, and it needs a new roof. We've made many repairs to it, but every time it rains, it leaks. So we'd like to start the construction of the new roof as soon as possible. So thank you for approving the suspension of the rules, and I ask for your support of the ordinance.
Thank you. Any additional discussion on 10.1? Clerk Tamer, call the roll.
Cahill.
Aye.
Chaluto.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Bastido.
Aye.
Nardini.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Irby.
Aye.
Bellinger.
Aye.
Remus absent. Hill.
Aye.
Schenko.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent.
13 ayes, 0 nays, 1 absent. 10.1 passes. Item 11 is other business. Besides 11.2 and 11.3, is there any other business to be brought before the council? Then we'll move on to 11.2. This is an opportunity for our dearly departing alderman to share some thoughts with us, after which we will go to 11.3 when the remaining city council members may share some thoughts as well. So shall we go? You want to go first, Alderman Park? A little leadership there? Thank you. Alderman Park.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. I am incredibly grateful for being a part of this great team of council members and city staff. It's been my pleasure working with all of you over the last 8 years, and for those who have gone on to do other things or retired as well, all the problem solving, the strategizing, the brainstorming, the walks that I force people to go on, and just learning from everyone. this experience to serve as an active citizen and care for my community has been incredibly meaningful. I found it fascinating to learn firsthand, like, how our city operates and all the attention to detail and dedication that it takes, everything it takes to, like, make Elmhurst the unique and wonderful place it is to live, day in and day out, and just how everyone's always also thinking forward about our future Elmhurst and what we want to do and what we want to be. It's just so special to be a part of this. I've enjoyed, like, our city team, all the work that we've done, and everything from, like, small fixes and just connecting residents to resources to big picture policies like planning a citywide sidewalk network. Yes. Serving as Alderwoman has given me a deep appreciation for the complexity and the impact of local government and how local government decisions, like, directly shape our community's daily life. So it has been eye-opening for me, and I will forever be grateful, and I am changed moving forward for the good. So thank you, teammates. It's been a great run. And I also want to thank my family, or part of them, who are here. These guys are the best teammates also. My husband, Adam, daughter, Cece, daughter, Josie. They were always cheering me on every Monday evening when I had to go out. And they were always listening to me as I excitedly talked about some fascinating fun fact about, like, how tall the letters are on the water tower, or what the heck home rule sales tax was. They would go on tours with me of the police station or the water treatment plant when I wanted to, like, dig in and see what things were all about. And last, they're just always joining me in being engaged and active citizens and caring for our community. So I thank you, teammates, as well. I love you guys. That's it.
Thank you, Alderman Park. And I'm going to mix the agenda a little bit because I think everyone should have their own spotlight. So since it's on you, Alderman Park, I'm going to invite the members of the council. We'll shift over to 11.3 if they would like to make any parting comments to you. And then we'll go on to Alderman Cahill. So would anyone, Alderman Nudera.
Tina, 5th Ward Alderwoman for the past 8 years. Tina has made herself available with smile and a compassionate ear to the residents of the 5th Ward. Personally, Tina has been a mentor, a consistent teammate when handling issues in our ward and around the city. She's always been available to visit, discuss topics impacting the citizens of Elmhurst. Your presence on the council will be missed. I would like to wish you and your family nothing but the best moving forward through the next chapter of your life. Thank you very much, Tina.
Thanks, Jim.
Alderman Nardini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alderman Nader is showing us up with a prepared statement. Got to stay on my toes. So Tina, Alderwoman Park, has a rule. If you want to meet with her, you can't do it over lunch or you can't do it over breakfast because you can't really talk while you eat. You can, however, talk while you walk or speed walk or walk with legs that are 3 times longer than mine. So if you want to be able to speak, you need to be able to have deep lungs because she's moving at a breakneck speed. And usually if we're meeting, it's about something she's very passionate about. So not only is it breakneck speed, but it's also very animated. I so appreciate how you would break stuff down that I didn't know. When I ran, you were my go-to person about what stuff I needed to set up ahead of time and have properly prepared. And that was such a great entry into council. Thank you for 8 years for my hometown and for the help you gave me personally while I was running. You'll be missed.
Anyone else? Alderman Brennan.
Thank you. Tina, you just live down the block from me, but you're in a different ward. It's sort of odd, but when I think about the 8 years, we sat on a committee together. Those were 2 very good years. There I really firsthand, saw your passion, your thoughtfulness, and your persistence on certain topics. I think the best example is sidewalks. I think you and I probably started pretty far apart on that topic. And persistence is definitely, a headline and a memory that I'll have with you. And I think that with the sidewalks, where we landed in the master plan, et cetera, I think it, is a big part of your persistence and drive for that. And there are other things that top of mind. I'm not gonna get into a ramble, but I think that the 8 years, it's just so cool to see, a fellow resident, work on things that are of interest and really want to leave Elmhurst a better place, after your 8-year tour. The last thing, I think you're very, probing in your questions. You're very pesky, on certain topics. And I really appreciate that, because that affords us the platform to debate and land at a better spot, as a result. So thank you for all that effort. And you just live down the block. I haven't had the good fortune of going on a walk with you. I didn't know that was an option, but I like coffee and walking too. So maybe as a resident, we can do that. Thank you very much.
You, City Treasurer.
Tina, when I look back and I think about your legacy, and I live in the Fifth Ward, I don't like to leave the Fifth Ward, so I do a lot of stuff in the Fifth Ward, and there's been several occasions when it comes up. It doesn't come up often that you're an elected official in conversation. Sometimes it comes up, and I always get asked, oh, do you know Alderman Park or Tina Park? And it seemed like the businesses in the Fifth Ward always enjoyed working with you. So I must say I was always proud that you represented the Fifth Ward. And to Alderman Brennan's point, it's your perspective was always unique, and it brought fresh conversation and drove dialogue, and much appreciated. Thank you for your service on this council.
Alderman Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll keep it short. Our time on committee has been short together, a couple months, but there have been a few other issues on which we work together, and this is kind of a theme. It was great to have you on my side on those things, such as sidewalks, because you work at those things you care about with such intense passion that you're a force that's undeniable. So having you on sidewalks, that was a huge benefit to my interest in that topic, and the Third Ward thanks you for helping get that done. So I just want to say thank you for your dedication to Elmhurst over the last 8 years.
Alderman Toledo.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Park, it's been lovely to serve the residents of Elmhurst with you, get to know you and your family. You've really served the Fifth Ward with a lot of passion and compassion. And, I think that those are two very good descriptors of you and your personality. So thank you for your service, and it's been wonderful to get to know you. Thank you.
Clerk Tamer.
Alderman Park, you and I met before this, and I just want to say that when that friendship started, I had no idea that I'd be serving the residents of Elmhurst with you here. But your friendship has meant a lot. Our coffee dates have meant a lot in the conversations, and I know our friendship will continue after here. So I just appreciate the talks, appreciate the friendship as well, and I wish you the best. Thank you.
Alderman Hill.
Thank you. Tina, we're losing something very special with you. We're losing the only other alderman whose last name is a noun, so I'll miss that. But aside from that, I also had the pleasure of having you as my alderman for a few years before I moved, and so that was unique to me always, to know you as both my alderman and then as my colleague. And I also knew you before I knew anybody else, I think, in this room, because, of course, our children were at Lincoln together, so I got to meet you and hear you were an elected official from afar. Ooh, I got to get to know her one day. And then here we are sitting on the dais together, and I just want to say I'm going to miss your presence here, but I will still have access to you as a fellow York parent.
Yes.
And your children and my children will move forward together, and we'll have lots to talk about. So I'll be missing you.
Thank you, Jake.
Alderman Bram.
Thank you. Alderwoman Park, I think I may be one of the few who served with you the whole time that you've been elected, I'm going to reiterate some of what's already been said. Your passion for some issues, especially, as Alderman Jensen said, the sidewalk issue, was greatly appreciated. I will say I have never seen, including myself, any more passion out of a person on one issue than yourself on that topic, and I appreciate that. I appreciate your dedication to your ward, to Elmhurst as a whole. I think we served, I don't know how many years on finance together for a little bit. I want to say it was 2 years, maybe 4. But I appreciate your probing questions and always being willing to learn more and hear other people's opinions. So I wish you the best on your free Monday nights. I don't know what you guys have planned, but I wish you the best of luck and in whatever you do.
Thank you.
Alderman Bastido.
Alderman Park, since your family's here, I want to say thank you to them for, the sacrifices that they've made, because it is a commitment, and every Monday you loaned us your mom and your wife to get what we feel like is important work done. So thank you to your family. I too also knew you before we were aldermen, and it would have surprised me if you told me we'd be up here together, but I'm very happy to serve with you. You've told me before about how when you get home, your family wants to hear everything that happened in the meeting, and that always shocked me because my family won't let me talk about city council business even when I try. So I always thought that was pretty special that your family took this journey with you. I loved being on the same side as you on arguments, and I really hated when we didn't agree on issues. So I think that's a testament to, your tenacity and your ability to argue for what you think is important. So you will be missed, and thank you for the 8 years that you've given the city.
Thank you, Emily.
Alderman Cahill.
Alderman Park, it has been a pleasure to first coach against you in second grade. Her tenacity in coaching is amazing. And she brought that here with her on the council. It was a pleasure of the 2 years we were in Public Works together. Her curiosity was amazing. She had questions about things grades and aggregate numbers and things that most people would even question. Tina was very inquisitive, and it was fun because Public Works sometimes is not very fun. And so I really appreciate all the time and effort you put into it. You've done a great job, and best of luck in the future.
Thank you,
All
Brian.
right, anyone else? City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Park, thank you on behalf of all staff for your unwavering support of us in your 8 years. And as Alderman Cahill said, you were never afraid to ask a question, and that was wonderful. And we enjoyed explaining things to you. So thank you. I consider you a friend, and I look forward to seeing you around town in a different role.
All right, anyone else? Alderman Schenko.
I just want to thank you for the last 2 years that I've gotten to work with you. And that our first meeting together was a very long tour of the 5th Ward, in which you highlighted all of the accomplishments and the projects. And our second meeting together was a very long tour of the 2nd Ward, where I got to show off some of our highlights. And I just wish you all the best in whatever your future endeavors are.
Thank you, yeah.
Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Park, you are a great role model for Elmhurst. So when I came on, just like Alderman Schenko 2 years ago, I said to myself, before I go into city council, I want to meet with 4 members of the active council. And you didn't know who I was, I don't think. I didn't know who you were that well. And we sat and had coffee. And you were one of the most positive, common good persons I've talked to in that group. And I think to this day, I'm going to miss your common good perspective on city council. To your family, that role model is, I can't touch it. I mean, Adam, your daughters, the way you guys can conduct yourself, you are the standard in my book. So if it wasn't for that, I'm not sure I would have been as aggressive or wanting to be a council without having you as that model and your conversations and that common good that you have. You're the best.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mayor Levin? Oh, that's me. Well, Tina, we started out as ward mates, and we really worked well together. I always appreciated the cooperation of, when you share a ward, keeping each other advised. You're always a great advocate for people in the Fifth Ward. I won't remind you of that caving-in excavation over on Rex Street where you fought so hard for the resident next to his house about to fall into a hole. And I know that I've heard from the people on Spring Road that they appreciated the fact that you came to the meetings and learned what was going on in the Spring Road Business Association. When I became mayor, I even appreciated your support more. We only had one disagreement in 8 years, and we can talk about that when I see you walking down a closed York Street some summer when it's Otherwise, I always enjoyed the open communication that we've had and the thoughtful input that you've provided. I had an interesting thought. It goes to both you and Alderman Cahill that you guys must be formidable candidates because both of you served 8 years without having an opponent. You frightened everyone. Never mind. You're a friend, and I've enjoyed getting to know you and Adam. Even your son stopped me in the grocery store, so I know that we must have that family bond now. You have a wonderful family, and Wonder Woman will go off into the sunset. Thank you so much for your service. Now, we used to, in the early days, I think only Alderman Brand would remember, we'd have you go sit in the rocking chair, but we're not going to do that. We'll take a picture at the end, just so you'll stay off your rocker, as they say. All right, next, Alderman Cahill, would you like to address the council?
I would like to, Mayor. Thank
The
you.
floor is yours.
I want to thank the mayor, city manager, the city attorneys, the directors, city staff, and my fellow alderpersons for both present and past. It has been my pleasure to serve the Fourth Ward, and I hope they've been pleased with my service. I have learned from my time on council, and I've hoped I have provided knowledge to my Public Works Committee and fellow aldermen. I especially want to thank my wife, who's sitting here, and my family that have allowed me to give up almost every Monday for the past 5 years. Serving the city has been my pleasure, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Cahill. Would any member of the council like to address Alderman Cahill? Alderman Toledo.
Thank you. I appreciate being able to go first to thank Alderman Cahill, my Fourth Ward mate and friend and family friend. Thank you to Allie and Alderman Cahill's family for allowing him and sacrificing his time at home with the family, and a very busy family, especially when he started. Alderman Cahill has served, I think, the city of Elmhurst in the Fourth Ward very respectfully, with commitment, always wanting to do the right thing, make the right decisions. His expertise and professionalism, professional experience as well, brought onto the Public Works Committee from various jobs that he's held throughout his life, has been very beneficial to the city of Elmhurst. We'll really miss the turkey trots, although I'm sure maybe those will continue.
They will.
So that's always a nice added benefit. So thank you, Alderman Cahill, for being a great ward mate, a great public servant, and we'll miss you.
Alderman Vestito.
Thank you, Mayor. As I've alluded to already, our committee is going to miss you a lot. So every chair should be so fortunate to have a vice chair that has so much more experience and more knowledge than they do on the subject in front of them. And it has been a pleasure to serve with you on the committee, especially. That's where we really got to work most closely together. And if anything ever worried me or concerned me, I would just look at you and, if you were okay with something, I was okay with it, because you do. You have so much knowledge and experience. So thank you for your service. In addition to all that, you're a very, very nice guy and a great family man. And I'm glad that your family's going to get to have more time with you back. So you'll be missed.
Alderman Brennan.
Thank you, Mayor. So the fourth ward, if memory serves me correctly, you had some pretty big shoes to fill in Kevin York. And, you know, I had the good fortune of working with Kevin for a couple of years, you know, before he set sail down in Florida. But you know, I think you coming in, you've done an awesome job filling those shoes and representing, you know, the fourth ward. You know, expertise, you know, clearly comes to mind. You know, everybody that's spoken so far today, you know, it's the expertise, the pragmatic point of view that you have from your business and bringing that to, you know, the city. I think, you know, the city's blessed with having, you know, that type of expertise, you know, coming in and serving in the capacity of alderman. It's just awesome. And the city and council's better off as a result. And as we served on the Public Works Committee, you know, what I really appreciated, the expertise, is Alderman Bastido has mentioned, but you always had a level head, right? When we would end up, you know, going in circles on a particular topic, I think you are very effective in basically boiling it down and bringing it back up. And this is really what we need to focus on and make a decision. So I really valued that expertise as chair of that committee. And you know, you'll be missed. I mean, that's hard knowledge to backfill. So thank you for everything you've done.
Alderman Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Cahill. We didn't get an opportunity to work together very much during our shared time on council, but I appreciate the insight you brought to the Public Works Committee. Whenever I needed to talk in detail on an engineering topic or Public Works generally, I knew I could go to you with questions and get a better handle on things. The depth of knowledge you bring in from your professional experience in your role as alderman will definitely be missed by both me, you know, singularly, and the city as a whole. So thank you for your service.
Alderman Park.
Thank you, Mayor. Brian, I have always appreciated your perspective and your wealth of knowledge and the heart and the interest you take in everything we do. You have so much knowledge of best practices that I just always admired, and I enjoyed being on committee with you. I enjoyed working with you on other things when we weren't on committee. You did make Public Works fun. You did, having all the answers to my crazy questions. And it's a gift of this experience, that serving together, that we got to be friends with our families, and I just look forward to continuing that.
City Treasurer.
Alderman Cahill, we'll miss you down here in the hot corner. We used to have nice discussions every week. I think we probably set the record for most talks about Terre Haute, Indiana. Karen and I have not once mentioned, we've not discussed Terre Haute, Indiana, so I'm going to have to fill that void. As others have mentioned, I think your perspective is going to be missed on this council. We really appreciate your service up here. And one thing I'll never forget, you told me my son was about to start preschool, and you said something along the lines of, some of these people from preschool you're going to be friends for the rest of your lives with. And I was like, there's no way. And that's definitely going to be true after a couple years of preschool now. So thank you for your service. We're going to miss you.
Alderman Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Cahill, I will definitely miss having that first turkey trot stop so early on in the race that I counted on and look forward to. But unless you let me come and stop there future years, because I'll need that break. But aside from that, what I most valued about you when I started working with you on council as a fresh noob was that I found you always very approachable. And I really appreciate that about you, because I think sometimes you can be a little intimidated when you're new in this role and you don't know who's somebody you can talk to get the skinny when you come on board. And I always felt like I could turn to you and ask questions, and even stupid questions. Not anymore, though. I don't do that anymore. But if I did feel like I need to ask a stupid question, I would probably turn to you, because I feel like you wouldn't have much judgment. So I'm going to miss that openness and approachableness which you carry yourself with. But I hope to have plenty of opportunities to talk to you at future turkey trots and beyond. Thank you.
Alderman Braham.
Thank you. A lot has already been said in regards to your professionalism, in regards to your real life experience and bringing it to council. I know the couple of years serving on the Public Works Committee with you, that has been incredible, incredible insight. Not only having staff provide insight on the topic at hand, but you bringing different examples from your real life experience in business as a fellow engineer to talk about the different topics. I don't know about the making public works fun comment, but we'll run with that. As I leaned over a little bit earlier ago, I leaned over and said to Alderman Cahill, I feel bad for you, because prior to the council meeting starting tonight, he was talking about his allergies and how much his head is throbbing and everything else. Well, he thought I was referring to the comments and giving compliments, and his reaction back was, I'd rather be roasted. So I don't really have anything to roast him about, other than the font size on his comments is probably a 32 font. But I agree with Alderman Hill. You're very approachable, bringing the conversation down to a level that we can all understand during public works discussions, very level-headed, always willing to discuss anything and everything. So you will be greatly missed. Well, I'm making an assumption that I may be staying on public works. I don't know. But you'll be greatly missed, not only on public works, but on the council as a whole. I wish you and the family the best. And one of these days, I'll run the turkey trot and maybe stop by your place. Thank you.
Anyone else? We'll go down the line here. We'll start with Alderman Nudera.
Alderman Cahill, I think, through the years, I haven't really had a chance to work with you, but I really enjoyed carrying the banner for the parade here for St. Patrick's Day. We try to keep the people behind us moving in line, and we were joking about it throughout the whole time. Your service and your dedication to the city is going to be missed, and the way you represented the people with integrity and respect in the 4th Ward is going to be missed. It was nice getting to know you. I hope I can get to know you even further. You got a great attitude and a positive mindset. Thank you for all your hard work.
Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor. Brian, when I came on council, you were probably one of the warmest people. I didn't know who you were. And we met, and you were a people person. And I learned you had a patent. And I thought, wow, this guy's smart. And then I found out you had a business. And so I knew what you did on council, and people were highly respected, and everyone said, well, Brian Cahill knows this stuff like the back of his hand. And my experience on council was the turkey trot, going to one of your businesses and doing a clothing drive. And I am sure the Cahills are one of the largest supporters and doing stuff in the public or their public service that is done in private. And I felt that you were very involved with your private giving back to the community. And I thought, wow, what an asset we have here. And so I got to know you more on that side than I did on council. And your family's awesome. Awesome. And hospitality and warmth. We're going to miss that part of you, but I know that's going to continue. And City of Elmhurst will continue to get that. So we're just not going to let you leave. How's that? So thank you again, and thank you for the family. Awesome.
City Clerk.
I just wanted to thank you for your service. You've brought great value here, and I always enjoyed listening to your perspective. It was always you were very well thought out and very well spoken, and your ideas really, I felt, when you spoke, you meant what you were saying. So appreciate your service. Thank you. Wish you all the best as you go on. Thank you.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Alderman Cahill, likewise, thank you for your full support of staff in everything that we've done. As Alderman Bram said, your ability to analyze things and compare it to what you're doing on the private sector was always very helpful for us, and I think for the council as well. So thank you for bringing that. Likewise, I consider you and your family friends, and thank you for all your hospitality, and I look forward to seeing you around town in that capacity.
Right. Alderman Schenko.
I just want to say thank you for the last 2 years. Working with you on the Public Works Committee has been insightful, and I appreciate the knowledge of engineering that you brought, your level-headedness, and just the calm demeanor that you always seem to have. And I also want to say that I genuinely love the annual Cahill Turkey Trot viewing party, because watching everyone run by freezing is just a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All right, so Alderman Cahill, I said 8 years. You just felt like that, didn't it? 5 years, all right. You did bring a real-world approach to all of our discussions, a wealth of knowledge, very analytical. I imagine Ally saying, should we go out to dinner? And you say, well, at my company, when we talk about going out. I know that a lot of things changed in your work environment for the last year or so, and you've had a very heavy travel schedule. I very much appreciate that you stayed engaged and were an active participant as Vice Chair of the Public Works Committee and in all of the council's work, which probably made it more taxing for you than for most people. I think, as people said, I'm not going to miss you as much as I thought, because Ally said I was still invited to the Turkey Trot party, so I hope to see you around before then, of course. But as Alderman Leader once said to me, this is kind of like a club, a special club, because we understand all of the things that have to be done for the city, and we have to get educated to a much greater level than the public might understand. So you've supported the council. You've been a very valuable voice on the council. I wish you the best, and thank you for your time on the council. I'm going to take a motion to adjourn, and then I would like to have the two retiring aldermen to, well, maybe move the chairs a little closer together, take a seat, and perhaps we'll do a group picture with all the aldermen standing behind you. So may I have a motion to adjourn? And a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.
That's funny.
Much better meeting.